So they topped All Hail King Julien. I just want to say this is one of the best series I've ever watched. It's in my top 10. There are a lot of creative twists and turns that will keep you binge watching. Lots of wit. You think one thing is going to happen, then there's a plot twist, so there's never a dull moment. Because a lot of things happen at once, and there's more continuity. I like the recap that they decided to do to help in case you forgot what happened last episode. All King Julien actually at the beginning of each episode recaps the episode. They're kind of funny and really considerate. If someone hasn't watched the last episode in a while, the slapstick is very good in this series. I'm impressed. If you're a cartoon, then it's good to take advantage of it because a lot of things happen in cartoons you can't do in live action or get away with it all you can. The slapstick only happens once in a while, so slapstick is shocking and are funny, and because it's out of the blue, so they don't like abuse it. King Julien was at his best when he sabotaged the monkeys from going to Russia and saved them to gain their trust so they would do what he wanted. His ignorance was there like always, and his arrogance is best described like that. That wasn't the first time King Julien put someone in danger for his own benefit in this series, so I love it. Maurice is always there for the voice of reason. His sarcasm is great, and he feeds off King Julien with being the reasonable one. But now Despacho, he is a great addition in the group with how extreme he can be. His sarcasm is great, and he feeds off King Julien. And even though Mort was a good fit with being nonchalant and being a yes man for King Julien, I felt Despacho was a better fit in that dynamic, in my personal opinion. Clover and Sage did an amazing job playing off of each other. This is probably the best part of the series. Clover was a straight man, and Sage is just so silly. He really thinks he's poetic, and he does start making sense, but then he switches it up and just makes no sense. And I love when Clover got trained by that fish named Josh Josh. It was a parody of the Karate Kid because Clover does a bunch of useless things for Josh Josh, and he told her to do it for no reason sometimes, or sometimes it's a literal meaning of it, and he didn't come out and say what he was trying to teach her. A lot like Karate Kid. So Sage and the Fish or the Master team up on Clover all the time with just the ridiculousness. Josh Josh ended up being a good teacher in the end, but there's so many puns and play on words, like with the map literally being inside the mirror, not a metaphor with Clover looking at herself through the mirror. So that's a good example of what I was talking about. There was a lot of unexpected turns, and this is one of the best parts of the series, in my opinion. Again, Sage was so funny, especially when he actually knows what he's talking about. Ted was a good comic relief to laugh at him. You know, to put it frankly, it was you just laughed at him. That helps supplement Mort a little bit more too. Uh, Despacho was a great sarcastic addition to help with Maurice, but he's a criminal, so sometimes Maurice can't rely on him either. Like when he suggested blowing up the kingdom. Let's mushroom clown this. Cloud it. Despacho is funny, so it helps replace when Mort agreed with anything King Julien said. It helped with the extreme factor there. Each story is lined up with the next story, so the climax of each story is always playing on screen, and that's a great writing tactic to use. I don't want to spoil too much, but in the end, everyone joined the fight. Carl and even King Julien's evil uncle teaming up with Julien was unexpected and awesome, even though they have different motives, being that they want the crown or want to kill King Julien themselves, since Julien doesn't have the crown or is gonna get killed by someone else. He's not the main target. He's not public enemy number one anymore to them. Kodo is that evil. Everyone came together for the good of the worst or evil in the last battle. I don't want to say specifics, like I don't want to spoil the I don't want to spoil it. I got the feeling of the finale of regular show from this, and I might even review that finale, sometime because it was amazing in its own right. If you've seen the whole series, you'll know what I mean if you've seen both that and regular show's finale. If not, please watch All Hail King Julian on Netflix yourself because it's definitely worth it. Mort, something I've always loved about Mort is his nonchalant attitude with anything going on. Mort's going in different dimensions was awesome. They really stepped up Mort's character, which I was hoping they did. And honestly, Mort has been funnier when he was around King Kodo and contrasted with him. I thought that King Julian had enough people around him to carry the A plot. I do want to point out a couple more examples when gags worked, like the Josh gag with Clover and Sage saying he's a great master. Then he acts really silly. It worked because they changed what he did each time, which made the comedy build up instead of just a one line of dialogue, which is relatively the same time, like the same each time. If you do the same joke over and over and not add anything to it, that ruins the. You're not supposed to just do the same thing over and over. You're supposed to change the same thing a little bit each time.
Another good example is when the "we're all gonna die." It was actually funny when he didn't say "we're all gonna die." Like, if you change up the joke a little bit, it works. Or there's other, there's other gags like that, like within the All Hail King Julian that just got old.
And that's why Josh gag worked better.
King Julian.
Saying the trope, what could possibly go wrong, and things go wrong, but he said a different line each time. I'm a comedian, so I know a little bit about comedy, but then again, some people could not like my jokes either. So again, this is just my opinion. I'm going to really be sad if this is the last All Hail King Julian Exiled season. Look, like I said, I love your show, especially Exiled. Uh, this Exiled season will amaze you. 10 out of 10. You guys earned it. And I'll see you when you watch me again, metaphorically. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And I'm gonna go outside so my block knows I'm alive. Been watching too much cartoons, but this show is worth it. In my All Hail King Julian's review video. I'll have that in the description if you want to check that out. By the way, after this video, if you're into this show, that was what the show was before this version of the show. So it was a spin-off of this show.